What up? What up?
Joaquin, it's been a busy year for you. I know you've always believed that you would end up in spots like this eventually, but if I told you at the beginning of the year you'd have 4 fights and then you'd headline the final show of 2024, would you believe me?
Yeah, not only would I believe you, but that's what I would tell you. That's what we planning on doing. So beforehand, you know, when I made that move to 170 this calendar year, not this calendar year, but going into this calendar year and fighting Vicente Luque, I knew that I wanted to be the most active fighter in the welterweight division, and I wanted to get 4 in this year. Yep.
You've been able to show that this sport, and even sort of like the perception of athletes in MMA, it can change so quickly because you have that big win, and then you called out Conor McGregor, and people didn't really love that. But then you fight Wonder Boy, and you approached it a little bit differently. You have a tough fight, you finish him, and then you had a great post-fight interview. Everyone loved the call-out of Kamaru Usman, and it seems like you got people that you might have lost back on your side. Have you noticed that as well?
Yeah, I noticed that. Sometimes you just got to listen to the fans, man. They know what they talking about. So I feel like, you know, yet again, I try to get a lot of people to tune in to watch my fights. So anything I got to do to get the fans engaged and get them involved, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm glad the fans is on my side right now.
What was your reaction when you found out that Ian Machado Gary was out and that Colby Covington was stepping in?
I ain't going to lie to you, like, I wanted that fight, you know. Of course, we was promoting Buck versus Cuck, you know what I'm saying, and that was going to be one of the biggest things around. But, you know, at the end of the day, I feel like, you know, me and Kobe, you know, I think that's a big fight too. You know, somebody that has won, you know, the interim title, person that's fought for the title 3 times, even though he lost, you know, he got a big name. He has a big persona. He got, you know, big connections, you know, of course, like with the president. I don't even know if the president's going to be there, but if somebody like that is watching my fight, that's going to be a big deal, you know. It's historic. So with that being said, I feel like the Kobe fight is way bigger than the Ian Gary fight.
I saw a clip on social media earlier today of Colby saying he didn't even know who you were and that you were irrelevant and that you beat a couple
Why
of
you
guys.
lying, Kobe? Why you lying? So that's the funniest thing. We'd already met each other before, you know, and this would be our, I think, 3rd time meeting each other again if we get to face off. But, you know, I didn't already met this guy, and I feel like the dude that he portrays is obviously a character, and everybody knows it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a secret. Like, everybody knows, like, you know, he's trying to do, like, the WWE persona, you know, and I feel like it got him very far and got him exactly where he needs to be, but now it's kind of, you know what I'm saying, it's getting old, and it has no value anymore, so I feel like right now is a great opportunity to kind of use this fight to kind of push my name and push my brand.
And then last thing for me, a win on Saturday put you in a pretty interesting spot because we just saw Ian fight Shavkat, and it was a close competitive fight. But
Yeah, but it was boring though, you know.
Not a fan of it.
Yeah, nah, not at all. Because yet again, you got 2 undefeated guys. You got one that's a finisher and one that's a sniper. And I was expecting one of these guys to go out there and give it their all and kind of really, you know, not just remain undefeated, but take somebody's oath for real, you know. And that's why, you know, a good finish. And especially when you got that title on the line and you know that you could be next, or you know you are going to be next to fight for that title. Like, you got to go out there and perform like that. And neither one of them did. Yep.
Joaquin, do you think this almost worked out for the best, right? Because let's say you fought Ian and then you beat him. There's a chance you never get to fight the guys like Colby Covington who have sort of been at the top but maybe not there anymore, right? But now is the perfect opportunity for you to beat someone with a name, take that name and go on forward with it. Do you think this is like the sort of worked out better for you in a way?
Yet again, like when I answered before, I think Colby Covington is a bigger fight than Ian Gary, yeah.
How do you rate his skills, though? Obviously, personality and name-wise, we know he's a big deal. But his last fight against Leon, a lot of people weren't sort of impressed with his outing that night. What do you think of his skills and where is he at currently in his own career?
Right. Well, you know, that's up to him. You know, we can all judge off the last performance. He wasn't that good, you know. I feel like the best performance that I've seen from Colby Covington was against either RDA or Jorge Masvidal. Like, that was one of his prime conditions where he was just pushing the pace and just showing his dominant style. But yet again, you know, he said he took another year off to kind of get back to that person that he was. So I'm expecting the best version of Colby, but I feel like even the best version is no match for me.
You talked about how you've met him before and, you know, you sort of come up watching Colby and doing his shtick and everything like that. So in a way, is it almost like because you know the shtick and everything, there's nothing he can really say that can rattle you, right? He said what he said to Leon, which obviously got Leon fucking pissed off. But is there anything he can really say that can get under your skin because you know what you're dealing with here?
I mean, I'm not saying it's nothing that he can say. If he do his homework, like, he can bring up some things, right? But at the end of the day, I have met this person, like, in person, and he's not that same dude. So with that being said, it's just all noise. But the one thing that I know that is real is that, no matter what he talks about, he gotta live by that in the cage. So let's see if you're gonna stand on that once the cage doors close and we get to do what we do.
And what have you made of the Colby Covington persona? Like, he's, Ian Gary, like, doesn't like him at all, but, like, some people find him funny. Like, what do you make of him?
I mean, he doing whatever he needs to do in order to promote himself. But I feel like, yet again, you still got to be authentic with it. It's just like Conor McGregor. You see him and you see how, he pushes his brand and how he acts. But, that's still him. That's still Conor McGregor. It's just you turn up the volume for certain things. Alex Pereira, the authentic person that he is. And he don't even speak English, But people still love just the realness about him. So it's just like, just be yourself, and be able to turn up the volume on that.
A lot of people, I mean, most fans only know him from what they see on camera, but you've said you've met him, off camera and have had different experiences with him. How is he off camera?
A regular dude, bro. Like, that's the funniest thing. So when I trained out in Miami with MMA Masters, this was right before he had to fight with Kamaru Usman, But before I met him, I knew that he trained down there. I didn't know what to expect, you know what I mean? Because, yet again, I only known him from all the stuff that he does on camera. But when I seen him, just a chill dude, just like, what's up, man? I'm like, how you doing, bro? And, just a basic guy. And, eventually I was like, hey, man, I can help you out with this Kamaru Usman fight. You know what I mean? We should probably get some rounds in and get some training in. Oh, man, I would love that, man. That'd be cool. And the funny thing about it, it just never happened. You know what I mean? Because he just didn't want to work. And the thing about Colby Covington, like, he kind of runs his own career, you know what I mean? And he likes to work comfortable. And the thing about me is like, even though I kind of do the same thing, I don't like working comfortable. Like, I like working with new guys. I like working with guys that are hungry, and I like putting myself in a position where it's going to make me better. And that's why I feel like he lost those big fights. It's because he was always training comfortable, and he wanted to train with, guys that was going to push him. And with that being said, it's funny how he was scared to just train with me, and now he's stepping in the cage with me. Yeah. And I feel like, for real, like, Kobe's been quiet, and he hasn't been saying anything because he know the truth. Like, I think he's really nervous to step in that cage with me later on.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask you, Colby, didn't look so great in his last fight. A lot of people are saying, oh, he's probably past his prime. What do you think?
Yet again, that all depends on the person. Even if he was in his prime, I feel like it's just like, it's no match for me. Like, even if he's in the best shape of his life and, he goes out there and be the best Kobe, I feel like the type of style that I bring is just he going to be running into a brick wall.
Yeah. And after his loss to Leon Edwards, he was calling for a rematch. He was calling for Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. It seemed like he wanted all kinds of things except fight like the young.
Right. He want to fight 145ers, man. He want to fight Patty Pimblett, Dustin Poirier, Charles Oliveira, guys that's not, welterweight fighters and stuff like that. So I feel like, in my opinion, this might be his last fight on his contract. I'm just assuming that, if you want to fight and it's going to be your last one, you want to, go off on top, right? And I really feel like, with that being said, he had no choice but to take this fight because it's his last one.
So I was going to ask you, like, are you surprised that he took it? Because a lot of people, when they saw Colby Covington names pop up, be like, short notice, Joaquin Buckley, like, seriously?
I really feel like he had no choice, It's either fight or leave, retire, you know what I mean? So it is what it is.
Yeah. Lastly, Shafkat Bilal, who do you think wins out?
I'm going with Bilal on this one. And funny enough, not only am I going with Bilal, I think Bilal could get a finish in this one, via submission.
Joaquin, I just want to go back to kind of one of the original questions. What were you specifically not impressed with Ian Gary in the Shavkat fight?
I mean, yet again, they didn't let it go. Like these are the type of guys that have the ability to finish one another, and they pretty much chose not to, right? You see Ian Gary, damn near trapping himself in I think he had like a body triangle on Shavkat. You can't do anything in that position. You got to, buckle. You got to move to a hip. You got to get to your feet and get the fight where it belongs. With Shavkat, that he's a finisher, right? But it looks like he was trying to grapple the whole time and just clinch up against the cage. So neither one of the guys kind of let it go. And I feel like, it kind of disappointed the fans because they really wanted to see something special that night.
And then going back to, like, the fans' opinion of fighters, like, how much do you really have to take that into account, right? Because you saw kind of two things that night. Like, people kind of switched on Brian Battle. You know, he went out in France. He had that thing on the microphone. Everybody loved him. And then he missed weight, and he arguably gets a split decision against Randy Brown. Everybody doesn't like Brian Battle right now. And then with Ian Gary, the fans were like,
right, it switched up.
Yeah, it switched up on
I mean, for real, you know, you shouldn't worry about the switch up. But with Brian Battles, it's kind of stupid because I think people could have still been on his side. You know, I don't know why you know, flicking off, you know, in Vegas. You did miss weight, you know. Like, as a professional, you know, and this ain't the first time you missed weight either, right? I remember back in the day that we was going to try to set something up for Boston. And I told him, one thing I need you to do is just make the weight. Because at the end of the day, that's what it takes, you know, in order to step into the cage with somebody that also put that same work ethic in with you. You know, y'all both made the same sacrifices, so y'all both get the reward where we get to fight one another. You know, I feel like you shouldn't be able to step in that cage if you're not able to make weight. But with that being said, it's just like, bro, you know, take your L with the fans, you know, just because they booed you and stuff like that. And plus, it wasn't like a crazy performance from Battles anyway, you know. That was the first time I seen my man turn into a wrestler. So it's just like, at the end of the day, it's just like, you know, listen to the fans, you know, and when you listen to the fans, bro, you know, they'll turn around and, yeah, they got your back.
And then you got a chance to tie a buddy of yours, Charles Johnson with 4 wins.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Did you see Pantoja in the post-fight? They brought up Charles Johnson, and he kind of went, who? I don't know if he.
Oh no, I missed that.
So they asked him about Charles Johnson, and he said, "Who?" He was pretending to not know him.
Right.
But
yeah, I don't know that. But you know, at the end of the day, I feel like, you know, the UFC already tried to find somebody outside the organization, so now it's time to find somebody that's in the organization. And obviously, they had a couple people, you know, that failed, you know, that could have fought Pantoja, but ended up losing to, you know, two big names, like, you know, Tosuro and. What's the name? Amir Abazi. You know, they both had their opportunities, but they both lost. So I feel like now you got to go searching within the, you know, rankings and just pull up a guy and give him a shot. And Charles Johnson should be that guy.
cheers, bro.
Just a quick one here. This is obviously a big fight in the division. So we know that Shafkat's next for Bilal, but do you feel like you went here and your next fight is the one?
Man, I feel like I'm leapfrogging over Shafkat.
Really?
Know? Yeah. And I feel like he injury prone too. Like, I feel like he always getting injured. Something always wrong with him. So he might not even show up to the fight, and it might just be me and Bilal next year. You know, but yet again, the performance got to speak first. You know, yet again, I can't just go out there and just get my hand raised by, you know, a split decision. Then I don't want it. But if I go out there and do what I know I can do, you know what I'm saying, get a good knockout of the year, yeah, bro, I'm taking my belt.
Yeah, so what does that look like? Like putting him away, devastating fashion, and getting on the mic?
That's all I know. Yep. And then plus getting on that mic, man, and talking my shit. Yep.
Nice. Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all.